Alex Belfield was sentenced to 5.5 years in prison. He's likely to remain behind bars until at least June 2025. Can Alex Belfield, however, appeal his sentence? If you receive a sentence of imprisonment from the Crown Court, you do not have an automatic right to appeal that sentence. To appeal a conviction, on the other hand, one needs just the permission of the Court of Appeal or the certificate of the trial judge, and this privilege is unrestricted. However, there is no inherent entitlement to file a sentencing appeal. Rather, there must be strong grounds for doing so. Such justifications are called grounds of appeal in legal parlance. For instance, if there was a procedural or legal flaw when the sentence was made. That seldom happens, however. A further possibility is if the sentence is excessively lengthy. A legal basis for appealing a sentence because it is excessive requires that the punishment be so disproportionate to the offender's background and the severity of the crime, that it violates basic principles of fairness and decency. It's also worth noting that the prosecutor may file an appeal of the sentence if they believe it to be too light, or, as the term is used in the Criminal Justice Act of 1988, if the punishment seems overly lenient to them. So let's examine the process of appealing a Crown Court judgment. In the first place, the defendant would have written advice from their lawyer on whether or not there are grounds for appeal, and that the reasons must be presented with the Crown Court within 28 days after the application has been made. If an appeal is allowed, a single judge in the High Court will review all the evidence and make a ruling. 3 judges will listen to the case at a later oral hearing. If your application is denied, however, you may try again by orally. The time restriction for filing this kind of appeal is 14 days. However, if the defendant can prove good reason for the delay, such as sickness or another extenuating circumstance, the deadline might be extended via an application. However, there are a few caveats to keep in mind before filing an appeal. As a first step, if the court finds that the application is completely without merit, it might issue a directive known as loss of time, which implies that a certain period of time spent in detention will no longer count towards the sentence. The most significant caution against appealing a conviction is that the punishment is at large. That is, the court may impose a different term than it imposed initially, which may be longer than the original sentence, even if the appeal fails. Please note that this is not legal advice. Please consult a lawyer if you need any specific legal advice. We make daily videos on events that affect your money and future, so if you enjoyed this one, please think about liking or subscribing. See you all in the next one.